Glad to be with you once again on today. My name is Kenneth Love. I'm the founder and executive director of Break Free Ministries, Christian minister, relationship counselor, addiction professional, and I got a question for you today. When is the last time you have impatiently waited on God and at some point decided that you was going to take care of things yourself? You tried it and it didn't work out good for you. Yeah, you had a good idea, but it wasn't God's idea for your life. We're still on the theme we were on last week, patient for his purpose. You remember the reflection? Since your haste can make waste, try to be patient for his purpose. And our scripture today is taken from Proverbs 19, verse 2. Ignorant zeal is worthless. Haste makes waste. Another translation is, zeal without knowledge is not good, for you may move too quickly going the wrong way. Abram and Sarai were made a promise. Abram was 75, Sarai was 65, and God said, you're going to have a child, a powerful child who's going to make descendants from now on to eternity. And they said, yeah. But after several years, they began to have a little doubt. And all of a sudden, they got a bright idea. Maybe we can help God fulfill his promise and purpose and plan for our life. And so, Sarai grabbed Hagar, sent him to bed with Abram. She got pregnant, had Ishmael, and then Sarai had an attitude, resentments, and it didn't go well. And they had to get lined up again with God and wait on him. And sure enough, in 25 years, Sarai got pregnant, and they had Isaac, and the rest is history. What about Moses, who attacked and killed the Egyptian for attacking one of his Hebrew brothers? And then the next day, his Hebrew brothers were fighting amongst each other, and he stepped in and they screamed, what are you going to do, kill us like you did the Egyptian yesterday? And he didn't know anybody knew about that. And he ran from Egypt and ended up on the backside of the mountain. And 40 years later, remember he was 40 years old when he did that. 40 years later, God showed up and said, I got purpose for your life. Here's what I want you to do. Go to King Pharaoh. Go to the Pharaoh. Go to the king and tell him, I said, let my people go. And Moses said, what? How am I going to do that? He said, just go do it. Well, who am I going to say sent me? He said, just tell him I am sent you. And after bickering and being resistant for a while, Moses gave in to the purpose that God had for his life and was obedient. And eventually, Moses led the Jewish nation out of 400 years of slavery. What about Esther? Remember Esther, the orphan who was raised by her older cousin, Mordecai, and ended up in a beauty pageant because the king had deposed of Queen Vesti because of her disobedience, and he was looking for another queen, and lo and behold, she gets picked. And then Haman gets picked as second in command, and Mordecai wouldn't bow down to him, so he wanted to kill all the Jews. And Esther had to step up in fear, but trust in God after being encouraged by Mordecai to go to the king and tell him that she's a Jew and the plans that Haman had. And the king showed favor and allowed the Jewish nation to be saved. Story after story like that. Patriarchs and matriarchs being impatient and then being patient and trusting God. What are you going to do? Are you going to be patient for his purpose? I dare you to do that and see God's life, God's plan, God's purpose, God's promise being fulfilled in your life. I can't wait to hear back from you to tell me how it went. See you next time.